I'm interested to know if you have any particular techniques or processes for crafting your characters in terms of the amount of backstory and characteristics.
What are the techniques for crafting your characters with backstory?
You know, one thing that I do, and I usually do this after a first draft, is I write a biography for every character. So even the guy who, you know, pats Eddie down and says, you know, "Estás travieso cabrón," and sits him down with the narco's mother, he's got like 2 lines. He got like a page-long bio. And that bio is both for the actor, because you know, you want to give the actor as much ammunition as they can to play their character, but it's also for me. It's also, so very often in my second draft, after I've written those bios, I came up with something while I was thinking of the backstory of the character that would be great to put in the screenplay. And it may be very, very subtle. And an interesting thing that happens with those bios is I'm very, very careful about what I put in them, because the actors will take them as gospel. You know, this is who my guy is. And they may be impressionistic, or they may be just details of how long you've been married and this and that, and where you came from and how you make a living. But sometimes actors will take something from that and really build their character around it. In our last movie, Amigo, there's a wonderful Filipino actor named Ronnie Lazaro, and he was playing a guy who was the head of a guerrilla unit. But in his backstory, because historically this was true, he had been a seminary student. He wanted to be a Jesuit priest and got radicalized, partly because the Spanish who, you know, had conquered the Philippines would not let Filipinos into the priesthood. And then he just got, and the first day that we were shooting, I just said, "What's Ronnie doing? It's interesting, but he doesn't look like a warrior." And then I realized he's playing it as a seminary student who's way over his head, who, because he's the educated one, all the guys are saying, "So what do we do next?" And I felt like, is this going to work? And then I realized on one side he had one actor, on the other he had another, who their biographies were warriors, and they were really playing those. And I said, okay, they're the military thing, and he's the brains of the operation. But, you know, right down to the, you know, when we had a big ambush at the end of the thing, he can barely get the bullets in the gun, because he's just not a warrior. He's a seminary student. So I do that kind of thing, and some of it comes from having been an actor before I was a writer and before I was a director. And then truly, in 19 days, we can't have those discussions about character on the set. We have to have very, very specific, you know, discussions about this scene, and usually it's about blocking, not about why would I do this. And when we're talking why would you do this, it's pretty quick, because they have all that other background. So I do a lot of talking to the actors before I say any questions you have before you get to the set. Even if you've got, you know, a half a page of dialogue and then we never see you again, you know, let me know about it so we can have this conversation now.